Welcome to Love Connection, where old-fashioned romance meets modern-day technology. Here's the host of Love Connection, Chuck Woolery.
Welcome. Let's get started by meeting our first guest.
I'm 20. My name's Sarah. I'm from Orlando. I want to be an elementary school teacher. I think appearance is important, but I think it's important to care about looking your best, not really for beauty-wise, but just as a confidence booster of yourself. You should want to take care of yourself and look good.
We're going to take a look at the minute to choose from. Now watch closely because you're going to vote again. Here we go.
I'm finishing up my second semester in graduate school. It's a master's degree in applied anthropology. And I'd like to do some international work, development work after I graduate with my master's for a year or two probably, maybe Peace Corps, a couple of years, and then come back and finish my doctoral degree after that.
I love playing the game of soccer. I think I get, it's a great fitness sport, and something I've done since I was 5. You know, decent at it, so it's fun to do something you're all right at.
I'd be like, oh, I want a tattoo. Figure out what I want. Just go get it. I have like 10. I have this one. SBHC, meaning Spring Break Hardcore. I'm in a Spring Break metal band. You can judge me if you want, but whatever.
It's ready to help you find.
I think media does a really good job of playing on insecurity. A lot of women feel the need to be beautiful in order to attract a mate, and the media is still pushing those norms. You see commercials where the pretty girl is with the pretty boy, or wear this perfume or wear this shirt and you get the pretty guy. But I think that some women are still kind of caught up in that. Some women haven't realized that media does play on their insecurities, and that they are powerful in themselves with their voices and their minds, and really beauty standards have nothing to do with that.
I like the club scene if I'm already have somebody I'm with, and I can go out and I can just spend the time when I'm with them dancing. And if I'm with other guys and I'm going to the club scene trying to find girls to dance with, it's extraordinarily uncomfortable for me.
I don't know. If you're single, maybe. If you're single, my single friends dress out to go and find a guy, generally.
I have to have a lot to drink to get up enough courage to even ask them to dance. And then at that point you're so drunk that, you're not really looking for anything long term anyway.
It's kind of a social thing, getting ready. So we all get ready together. And then when we go out, it's to get people's attention. It's to, I don't know, just be like, look at me, kind of thing.
Years and years and years ago, women were visual stimuli. They were adorned, pretty, and this was so you could get a husband and home, because you didn't really have many other options. But I think now, today, I have an education, I have a voice, I don't have to fall into those gender roles, and I think some women are still kind of hanging on to those insecurities. They're being pushed into that, I have to be attractive because I have to find a husband, or this is how I gain power.
But to me, the attractiveness of somebody is their fitness level, which is their effort, which is their will, power, their discipline to not eat junk.
You can look at culture today, especially Western culture, and it's everywhere. What they consider the ideal body type, and it is a fit, healthy body type. Whereas back in the 50s or 60s, maybe a more softer female, for instance, softer, more rounded female, is what was considered the ideal body type. Now it's all about what they consider the healthiest and the most fit.
Well, the anthropologist in me, the scientist, says yes, there's a very biological reason why we try to make ourselves attractive, so we can procreate, survival of the fittest. If I am attractive, I'll find an attractive mate, we'll have lots of children.
I think people on the cover of Men's Health magazine, sometimes sometimes they're a little too strong, but sometimes I think that that's a decent portrayal of fitness.
Well, media is part of culture. I think. I mean, media does. I think it goes both ways. It reflects culture, and it also dictates culture in many ways too, I think.
Like, for instance, you can see in, like, cinema, if you look 50 years ago, like Dirty Harry, his gun was like this big. If you look in the 80s at Rambo, his gun is like this big. So I think men are very much a part of the trap of media, like where they're being hyper-masculized and women are being hyper-sexualized and feminized.
Because media tends to reflect those of the wealthiest. And people want to emulate the wealthiest because they feel like that gives them a level of self-worth.
I only get my hair done every 3 months, like cut. I mean, it has been highlighted in forever, but cut, I get it every 3 months. And then sometimes I highlight it, and that gets kind of expensive. I don't know, probably, I try not to spend a lot of money, so it'd probably be like $100 in total for like my toes and my nails every month. And then I don't buy makeup every month, so.
Well, it's obvious if you study like history, or if you study poverty, if you study class, if you'll see the ranking. You'll see that our society is very stratified among financial whatevers. So, if you're wearing the latest name brand clothing, that says I have money, I'm in the upper class, and that says to people that do not wear the people that cannot afford those things are in a lower stratification. So I think that high fashion or like media completely perpetuates classism in our country.
And living in a college town, it's a lot of people's parents buying these clothes, so they don't care. Like, they wear it because it's a fashion. It's free to them. One day they won't have that luxury to do that, and they'll have to figure it out. And I think they're gonna have more learning process than we will in the longer run of how to adapt and live. Instead of spending $180 on clothes, you're gonna have to spend $180 on rent or a house or anything. I mean.
Scegliere Macintosh per il vostro lavoro è molto più che usare un normale personal computer. Può aprire nuove prospettive, stimolare nuove idee.
I think it's different for every person. And I think it has a lot to do with context and whatever scenario you're in. I know that I dress differently depending on where I'm going.
Yeah, it's a lot about the place and the people that you're with, depending on how ready you get, like to what degree of ready you get, or if you go out and buy something new, or if you make an appointment to get your hair done or your nails done before you do it.
I think it goes back to the old term that people make assumptions immediately when they meet you.
I think appearance in the work world is important. I think you should come off as professional.
I think the way you present yourself on the outside is important about who you are on the inside, but a lot of people are a lot different than they seem to be when you just look at them.
When I go interview for a job, I kind of forget what I even look like. I'm trying to tell them the skills that I have and stuff like that. And I think the less I worry about what I'm looking like, the more they realize how focused I am on what I'm doing.
When I am interviewing individuals, I try to concentrate more on what they're saying and what their background, and looking at their profile and trying to get something out of that. But it also goes back to the idea of respect as well.
When people come over to work, even if it's for a regular job, like a regular line job, it's not a physical job, if they've dressed up immediately, that is a sign of respect to our interaction. I take it as such.